Hello there, why don't you join me on a trip to Trebič to look at the basilica, do some geology and some dowsing. The first written record of Trebič goes back to 1101. It's a small town that lies to the west of Brno. It lies on the river Jihlava and is in the Jihlava valley. And at the centre of the town lies an imposing basilica dedicated to Saint Procopius. The basilica was built on the site of a chapel dedicated to Saint Mary of a Benedictine monastery that really was responsible for establishing the town. The original church dates back to 1104, but the stone church and basilica was established in the early 1200s. The monastery was later replaced by the castle, and so the basilica is now connected to the castle that is situated on a hill and has marvellous views of the river valley. For me, however, the importance of this site is that it is a major node on the Templar line, and in fact 2 Type 4 energy lines do cross within the chapel of the basilica. One is the Templar line, the other one is an as yet unnamed line that runs in ribbon-like fashion parallel to the Templar line down the same sort of azimuth. My assignment this day was to add more detail to the Templar line on my map by dowsing some additional points, and also to track this other line and find out where it went. I was successful doing both, and along the way reawakened my joy of geology and all things geological when discovering and hammering away at some of the outcrops in this area of the Trebič Pluton. If you'd like more information on the Trebič Basilica itself, check out my other video on the Trebič Basilica, indicated in the notes below. These days, the chapel is part of a museum, so getting in requires paying to go on the tour, which I have done and is recorded in the other video. However, I thought what I'd do was show you this node and the lines coming in. The red coloured lines are the negative lines, the blue coloured lines are the positive lines of the pairs of the 2 alignments. The darker red and darker blue is the Templar line. They actually form a nice node within the chapel, just in the aisle in front of the altar, and the energies are truly palpable in that particular location. If you do get the opportunity to visit Trebič, the basilica is well worth a visit, and even the tour. Look out for the masonry marks on many of the stones and also the crypt, which is quite amazing, along with this entranceway to the chapel, which is a remarkable piece of architecture, carving, and has its own story, again, which is in the other video on Trebič on this channel. Well, of course, whilst dowsing, you get to go to some strange locations because you're following the line wherever it takes you. And in several instances, I came across outcrops of highly weathered and very strange looking but remarkable stuff. I was interested in what this rock was because it clearly had large crystals of feldspar in a dark background with very, very shiny black mica biotite, which made it a very pretty rock indeed. So I kept my eyes open and eventually I came across this road cutting with some fresh, unweathered material and decided to get myself a couple of samples and find out what it actually was. Well, it turned out the rock is called Trebič, which is a microcyanite which consists of large biotite flakes with hornblende and orthoclase in a ground mass of oligoclase and a little quartz. These days I always carry my geological hammer and I was desperate to get some samples, and I can tell you that I have samples all around my apartment these days along with all the other rocks I've collected in my life. You can tell I'm a geologist if you come to my place. Beautiful stuff, really beautiful stuff. Just look at that. Gorgeous. Look at the biotite sparkle. Look at those big feldspar crystals. Isn't it gorgeous? Absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, some great samples here. I'll take a few home with me. So it's good to do a bit of hammering. Look at some rocks, and this is a beautiful, beautiful rock. And the whole area is made up of this intrusive igneous rock. So this is one of the samples of Trebič that I got this weekend. Isn't it beautiful? Look at the mica, the black biotite mica, the beautiful, huge, long, white crystals of feldspar. And somewhere in there are other minerals as well, like hornblende, perhaps a little bit of quartz and plagioclase, perhaps orthoclase, who knows. But this is a very potassium and magnesium rich plutonic rock. And quite honestly, I wouldn't mind having my kitchen counters made out of this. It is absolutely sensationally beautiful. And it's just a shame that these days I don't have any ability to polish or grind, or because I'd like to see what a nice flat surface polished deeply would look like. It's very heavy and very hard. And as you'll recall, there's a vein, and I managed to get a couple of samples of the vein. I actually believe this is plagioclase feldspar predominantly. There might be a little quartz in there. Looks like there's some quartz crystals, but predominantly it's feldspar. And then you've got the biotite mica running in those black areas. And again, it's a beautiful rock. Somewhere out there, apparently there are some quartz-rich veins that are quite famous for amethyst. Unfortunately, I didn't find them. Maybe next time. But definitely I'm going to get more into geology again.